Few artists achieve the superstar status that Todd McFarlane has achieved. Over the last 35 years, the Todd father has churned out not only classic covers for series such as The Incredible Hulk and Batman, but his run on The Amazing Spider-Man is one of the most popular runs of any artist since the likes of Jack Kirby or Neil Adams. As well known as McFarlane's ASM and Spider-Man issues are, there is a small collection of McFarlane Spider-Man covers that fly under the radar of most collectors. And the best part is, these issues are incredibly affordable. If you love McFarlane Spidey but are looking for issues that are more affordable for your collection, then this video is for you. Let's take a look at Todd McFarlane's Marvel Tales covers. And be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video where I'll reveal something that McFarlane hid within many of his Spidey covers that you may not be aware of. Toward the end of Todd McFarlane's Amazing Spider-Man run, he took on the cover responsibilities for the Spider-Man reprint series Marvel Tales. Beginning with May 1989's Marvel Tales 223, McFarlane would provide new, modern cover art for a series of Spider-Man story reprints ranging from issues of Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Marvel Team Up, and more. Issues of Marvel Tales have long been relegated to the $1 bins in your local comic shop, and as such, these McFarlane Spider-Man covers remain unknown to a wide number of collectors. But those days are over, as we are bringing these issues to light. So if you're a Todd McFarlane Spider-Man fan, get ready to dive into those $1 boxes for some underappreciated Spidey covers. The first issue in McFarlane's run is the previously mentioned Marvel Tales 223. Published in May of 1988, this issue reprints Amazing Spider-Man 88 and is the first part of the tragic death of Captain Stacy story. As the cover suggests, Doc Ock is the story's main antagonist. The story, which is titled The Arms of Dr. Octopus, was written by Stan Lee and drawn by legendary Spider-Man artist John Romita Sr. If we're just meeting, my name is Drew Stewart. I'm the owner of Como Comic Books, a Columbia, Missouri-based comic book vendor. On our YouTube channel, we focus on bringing you the best tips and tricks to help you take your comic collection to the next level. So if you're into comic book collecting, investing, or related entertainment content like this video, be sure to stick around for more of that. Now, let's check out the next book. June 1989's Marvel Tales 224 is the next chapter in the death of Captain Stacy's story and was originally published in Amazing Spider-Man 89 back in October of 1970. The story, which is written by Stan Lee and drawn by Gil Kane, who was just beginning his run on Amazing Spider-Man. Kane's work on ASM would bring us classic Spidey moments such as the drug issues, Spidey's growing of 4 extra arms, the first appearances of classic characters such as Morbius the Living Vampire and the Man-Wolf, along with the deaths of key Spider-Man characters such as Gwen Stacy and the Green Goblin. The cover to Marvel Tales 225 is the most powerful Spider-Man cover McFarlane ever drew, in my opinion. The cover features Spider-Man holding the lifeless body of Captain Stacy. All these years later, the final moments of this issue still carry a lot of emotional weight, as Captain Stacy reveals that he knew Spider-Man's true identity all along and asks him to take care of Gwen, a request that Peter would tragically fail in Amazing Spider-Man 121. Another classic story from Stan Lee and Gil Kane. The stories in these first 3 issues are just as good as the new cover treatments from McFarlane. If you're getting value out of the video so far, help the channel out by clicking the like button. If you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel as well. We're on a mission to hit 10,000 subscribers in 2021 and need your help to get there. Now, let's get back to the books. Marvel Tales 226, published in August of 1989, reprints Amazing Spider-Man 91. This is another Stan Lee and Gil Kane story titled To Smash a Spider. It focuses on the aftermath of the death of Captain Stacy, which took place in the previous issue, and it sets up a particularly challenging period for our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Next up is a classic Marvel story plot, reprinting January 1971's Amazing Spider-Man 92. Marvel Tales 227 features a squabble between Spider-Man and founding member of the X-Men, Iceman. After going a few rounds and realizing that there's just been a big misunderstanding, the two heroes wind up partnering up to take down the real bad guy. I'm sure you can probably name a few other issues that use this same plot. Let me know what your favorite issue that uses this plot device is down in the comments. Marvel Tales 228 is a departure from the preceding issues as it reprints Spectacular Spider-Man number 17, which was originally published in April 1978. For the remainder of the issues we're going to cover, you'll notice that they have one main thing in common: mutants. Lots and lots of mutants. This story, titled Whatever Happened to the Iceman, was written by Bill Mantlo and was drawn by legendary Spectacular Spider-Man artist Sal Buscema. Picking up where the previous issue left off, November 1989's Marvel Tales 229 features the story My Friend, My Foe, reprinted from Spectacular Spider-Man 18. Also written by Bill Mantlo and drawn by Sal Buscema, Spider-Man and Angel continue to try and rescue a brainwashed Iceman. Let me know what your favorite Todd McFarlane cover is in the comments down below. Is it Batman 423, Spawn 1, Amazing Spider-Man 316, or something really cool I don't even know about yet? Let me know. McFarlane's run on Marvel Tales continues with issue 230 from mid-November 1989. This issue reprints the story Bewitched, Bothered, and Bedazzled from Amazing Spider-Man 203, which was originally published in April 1980. How can you tell this story was from early 1980? You can tell because Dazzler was in it. Having just debuted in X-Men 130 in February of 1980, the Dazzler character was receiving a lot of attention, crossing over from the X-Men in both Amazing Spider-Man and Fantastic Four in the same month, and will begin starring in her own series in less than 12 months from the release of Amazing Spider-Man 203, which is reprinted here. Switching it up once again, Marvel Tales 231 reprints August 1981's Marvel Team-Up 108 featuring Paladin. McFarlane's new Marvel Tales cover would replace the original cover art that was provided by Wolverine co-creator Herb Trimpe. The reprinted story, Something Wicked This Way Kills, was plotted by Tom DeFalco, scripted by David Michelinie, and penciled by Trimpe. Don't forget to stick around to the end of the video where I reveal what McFarlane used to hide in his Spider-Man cover art. If you thought one early Dazzler reprint was enough for Marvel Tales, Marvel was more than happy to exceed your expectations and provide one more before the clock ran out on the 1980s. The December 1989 issue of Marvel Tales 232 once again features Dazzler along with Paladin as we continue the story from the previous issue with this reprinting of Marvel Team-Up 109. If you love McFarlane's art and Dazzler, then it really doesn't get any better than this for you. Now we're in the home stretch. From here on out, it's nothing but reprints of the two hottest things Marvel had going on in the beginning of the 1990s, Spider-Man and the X-Men. With Marvel Tales 233, McFarlane gets to try his hand with the original X-Men, reprinting X-Men 35 from August of 1967. This classic Silver Age tale features an early meeting of the Web-Slinger and Professor Xavier's original team of X-Men. The story, titled Along Came a Spider, was written by Roy Thomas with pencils from Warner Roth. Next up is Marvel Tales 234. Published in February of 1990 and featuring another Todd McFarlane Spider-Man and X-Men cover. Reprinting September 1972's Marvel Team-Up 4, I can't help but feel like this cover was a missed opportunity. Marvel Team-Up 4 is a very early appearance of Morbius the Living Vampire, and a McFarlane Morbius cover could have really been something to see. However, it wouldn't come to be, as we received another X-Men cover from the Todd father instead. Reprinting the story and then the X-Men, penned by Jerry Conway and drawn by Gil Kane, be sure to pick this issue up if you want to check out an early appearance of Morbius on the cheap. Our next entries contain a story so great that it could not be contained in a single comic. Marvel Tales 235 reprints part 1 of The Lords of Light and Darkness, which originally appeared in Marvel Team-Up Annual number 1, published in 1976. This story was the first time the new X-Men team, including such well-known members as Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, and Nightcrawler, appear outside of an X-Men titled book after having first appeared in 1975's Giant Size X-Men number 1. Wrapping up The Lords of Light and Darkness with part 2 is Marvel Tales 236. McFarlane's cover is so gloriously 90s, it's hard to contain oneself while looking at it. I mean, just look at it. If you listen really closely, you can almost hear grunge music in the distance. As we discussed with the previous issue, this is the second part of the story originally published in Marvel Team-Up Annual number 1. The May 1990 issue of Marvel Tales 237 continues the trend of the two preceding issues. The story, "'Tis Better to Give," originally published in Marvel Team-Up 150, the series' final issue, is divided into two parts that will be reprinted in Marvel Tales 237 and 238. At this point, it's hard to tell if Marvel Tales is a Spider-Man reprint series or an X-Men reprint series. Marvel Tales 238, published in June 1990, features a great McFarlane Juggernaut cover and reprints the second part of the story, "'Tis Better to Give," from Marvel Team-Up 150. Looking at this cover, I can't help but think how I'd like to have seen a different Spider-Man and Juggernaut story reprinted in these issues. If you've never read Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut from Amazing Spider-Man 229 and 230, then do yourself a favor and check those issues out. It's a short story that is well worth your time. McFarlane nails this cover, but as I mentioned, I think a different story would have been better suited here. If you're still with me, thanks for sticking with the content. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your likes, comments, and subs are the best way for you to help support the channel. Closing out his run on Marvel Tales with issue 239, McFarlane turns in a great cover featuring Spider-Man and Beast. This July 1990 issue reprints Marvel Team-Up 38. Never mind the fact that we just finished reprinting Marvel Team-Up's last issue in the previous two issues of Marvel Tales. This is reprint land where the rules are made up and the points don't count. The story, titled Night of the Griffin, was written by Bill Mantlo with art from Sal Buscema and Dave Hunt. Beginning in August of 1990, Marvel launches an all-new Spider-Man title, Spider-Man, which is written and drawn by Todd McFarlane. McFarlane's run on Spider-Man would last for 14 consecutive issues and close out with issue 16 in November of 1991. McFarlane decided to leave the book and ultimately Marvel Comics following a building struggle over control of the title. In fact, a single modified panel in Spider-Man 16 appears to be the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, pushing McFarlane to step away. By December of 1991, the beginnings of Image Comics were developing, and the rest, as they say, is history. Did you know that Todd McFarlane used to hide spiders in his Spider-Man cover art? First appearing on the cover of Amazing Spider-Man 303, McFarlane would soon be regularly hiding spiders in his cover art, and by Amazing Spider-Man 313 would begin placing multiple spiders in the art, and would then place the number of hidden spiders in his signature to let the reader know how many spiders to look for, culminating with a simple question mark in his signature on the cover of Spider-Man number 1, where a ridiculous amount of spiders are included on the cover. So if you've ever looked at a McFarlane Amazing Spider-Man or Spider-Man cover and wondered what the number in his signature was, now you know. Few creators have achieved, let alone maintained, the level of stardom in the comics industry that Todd McFarlane has. Despite his status as a legendary artist, creator, and publisher within the industry, these few issues of Marvel Tales continue to elude most collectors. As prices for his more well-known issues soar, discovering long-forgotten covers such as these is a great cost-effective way to continue building your collection without blowing out your budget. Happy hunting out there, and don't forget to collect responsibly. I'll see you in the next one.